Hello and welcome back to Paul Plays TIS-100. So the next one we're doing is Signal Edge Detector. So let's have a look what we need to do for this puzzle level. Read a value from in, which is here. Compare the value to a previous value. Write 1 if changed by 10 or more. If not true, write 0 instead. The first output is always 0. So we can see that the first input is going to be 0 as well. So just in terms of a structure for a solution, what I'd like to do is maybe if we can structure it so that in this box here, I calculate the difference, and this box doesn't get values, this box gets a difference value between the current value and the last value. And what I'd like to do is try and store the last value in this box here. That may or may not be possible, I'm not sure. Let's have a go. So, read a value. So move up, comma, accumulator. So let's presume, let's say magically, that whatever's in this box here is the last value. So if I was to subtract right from it, but I need to store this value, don't I? So I'm going to have to save it to the backup register first, subtract right, and then move accumulator to down. So I should now have the difference between this one and the last one moved to here. If this one magically had the last one in it, and move accumulator to down. Now what am I thinking of now? Very confused, early morning brain, sorry about this. Move accumulator to down. And now I need to put the old value into the old value into the right. So move, and I need to restore it. So the accumulator I currently have there, move act down is the difference. Swap it back in and move accumulator to the right. Right, so if this one starts with 0, which is fine because the first one has to be 0. So move accumulator to left. So that gives the value. And then move left to accumulator. Now, one thing I have noticed is that I was wondering whether these are actually almost like two queues. So you can have both something waiting to come from the left and going to the left, i.e. it's not one value, so if this guy's put something into it, I have to read it first. You can do this in this game. So I'm now getting a value. I'm getting a stream of values, which are numbers, which are the difference between the current value and the last one into this box. So I need to know whether they are greater than 10. So move up to the accumulator, save it probably. Now what? Need to know, is it, so I have a number here. If it's bigger than 10 or greater, or minus 10 and less, that's true. That's what I've been looking for. So, but without further ado, let's okay, so where are we? So if I want to know, is it minus 10 or less? So if I add 9 to it, so imagine it was minus 10, and I add 9, I've now got minus 1. It is still less than 0. And any number from that forward would be less than 0 as, or sorry, from minus 10 onwards would be less than 0. So if it's minus 83 and I add 9 to it, I'm still less than 0. If I'm at minus 10, I'm at minus 1. However, I'm at minus 9, I get to 0. So that's the cutoff point. So if I add 9 to it and jump, so if it's still less than 0, so jump less than 0 to fire, call it, or trigger, T for trigger. So now I need to restore it and check it again. So SWP, then I need to subtract 9 from it. And we're looking at doing the opposite. If I've subtracted 9 and it's still greater than 0, so jump greater than 0 to T. So what I'm saying there again, so imagine the number is 10. If I subtract 9 from it, I've got 1, it's greater than 0, great. If it was 9, I subtract 1, it would be 0, so that wouldn't work. So again, that we're not subtracting 10, we're subtracting 9 because we don't have a jump greater than or equal to 0, which then you subtract 10 and the code would look a bit more prettier. Someone would read it and say, oh, why is he interested in 9? So again, in real coding, you probably wouldn't do this, but in this, we will do this. Perfect. And then we need to jump back to the start. We don't want to do any of this trigger code if, oh no, we don't want to jump back to the start, do we? We need to write a 0, move 0 to down. And when we hit the trigger, move 1 to down. And there's an automatic jump to the start there automatically. So move up to right. Move left to down, and we'll have a look what happens. Oh yes. So what am I doing here? Just to recap it, this is calculating the difference. To do that, it's using this one here just basically to keep storing the old value in and pull it back. And this box is then testing whether the difference which has been thrown down to it is greater than greater than or equal to 10 or less than or equal to minus 10, and then that answer, a 1 or a 0, is sent flying down to the answer. So that was Signal Edge Detector. The next episode will obviously be on Interrupt Handler, hopefully. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on it. If you like what you see, you can subscribe to the channel. That would be great too. Any comments? Love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. Bye now.